Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect out here pushing this truth and sincerity. The water for what you do. We love you. We appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And shalom to y'all. All right, this is your brother Dabadad from the Great Millstone Camp in Atlanta. Lord willing to give you an edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Who the world ignorantly calls God, his name is Yahweh, meaning he is or he exists or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior, all right, or he is the deliverer. He saves, he delivers. If you're watching this now, you're a so-called Black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. You will not find Black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible. So you got to figure out who you are, because in the Bible, certain people is given the promises of the glory of the kingdom, all right, the covenant, the new covenant, and to be saved and to be delivered, all right? So you gotta know who you are. And if you don't look like a so-called Black, Native American, or Latino, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, then there's a good possibility that you could be a Hebrew Israelite as well, all right? Does not matter what you look like. Does not matter what color your skin is. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, meaning he is the prince of the power. All right, I'm just going to hit the key points. This is about the two tribes, Levi and Simeon. All right, I'm going to go just straight to the point because I'm actually at work, so I got to get this done. So let's see here. Genesis chapter 49. We'll start at verse 1, actually. Now it says Israel's prophecy concerning his sons. All right, so listen to, you got the subtitle there. It says prophecy concerning his sons. Shit kind of loud. It's Lakia doing something with my truck. It says but I have to do this now because I'm going to get off super late tonight. Verse 1, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together. Now Jacob, remember, he had his name later changed to Israel. All right, Jacob, Yaquab, which is means supplanter, right? To supplant, right? He says he called this unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear ye, sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. You see, so you got his name later changed to Israel. And remember, we told you, your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you're a Hebrew Israelite. All right, point blank, period. All right, this is talking about what was going to happen in the last days to these different tribes. All right, so the key points here, we'll get them. Genesis chapter 49 and verse 5 here. It says, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Okay, so let me see. Let me read it first. Verse 6 says, O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, in their self-will they dig down a wall. It says, cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So let's start at the top there. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. Now, we know that Simeon and Levi are brethren. We already know that, right? So why is it even mentioning it? Because we're all brethren coming for the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, that's because they're going to be living on the same island, right? But when you read down, it says, let me see. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. So so even though they're brethren, they're going to be living on the same island, right? They were going to be dispersing in Salakia, because that right there where it says, I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. That's actually talking about something else. But them being brethren meaning they'll be, close. And here's a map of Dominican Republic and Haiti. Salakia for being long-winded with that. So you see that on the left side, you see there Haiti, on the right there, Dominican Republic. You got Haiti. The Haitians are the Levites. All right. Now the Simeonites are the Dominican Republic. The Simeonites are the Dominicans. All right, but they're brethren because they live on the same island there. But I'm gonna get the reason why they're divided, because when you read on here, when it says instruments of cruelty are in their habitations, they had actually when their sister Dinah was dealing with there was a Hamite, right, or it's a Canaanite, had took Dinah. Let's see if we can get that. Just get that real quick. Slakia for stuttering so much. How you spell? Let me see. I know it's in Genesis 36, so we'll go there. We will go there. It's not in 36. 35? Let me get that. Let's see if I can get it. I know I'm spelling it wrong, so. Oh, because it's supposed to have an H. 34. Genesis 34. I said, and Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to the daughters of the land. Yeah, see, it says, and when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And hey, look, he took her. You see? So that shows you how women were being dealt with back then, right? So that also see what that word goes into. It's a different word. Yeah, to be captured, to take. So that's how women were dealt with, man, right? That's why women are to be going around and, just kind of, going around twerking and dating different people and whatnot, because if you're exposed, you can be taken. So the sons, the Levi and Simeon, they weren't happy with that, right? When it says instruments of cruelty are in their habitation, because of how they dealt with the man here who took Dinah. And say, Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite. Let's see what that word Hivite means, or Hivite. Yeah, Canaanite. So, because he's from the 6th generation of descendants of Canaan. Okay, Khan. So, when he took Dinah, Simeon and Levi were displeased with that. All right, because they're not of our nation, right? And they're filthy. So what they told him to do was you can marry her and the servants of Jacob, but you got to get circumcised. So they set him up, and and they slaughtered him. So that's why it says instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. All right, and they did a cruel deed, man, and it was cruel. But to hell with them anyways, because they're heathens, right? But basically, Jacob was upset because, they starting pretty much a war with other nations of that land when we were when we were inhabiting that land as well. All right. Let's see here. Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty or in their habitation. So that's why, right? It says, "O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. My honor, be not thou united." Oh, that's the part. So the be not thou. So first, their secret is them dealing with, you got the Levites, right? The Levites, they deal with voodoo, right? Which are the Haitians. They deal with the voodoo, and then the Simeonites, which are the Dominicans, they deal with the Santeria, and the brujeria, right? So like the brewing of the witches, or the witches brew, and they deal with these different spirits and demons on the left hand side to get things that they want. To get jobs, or for the women, they like to get different women, different men. Like if they want to get the man of their dreams or whatnot, not different men, but different women trying to get the man of their dreams and whatnot. They always kind of do these different wicked acts on the left hand side, which is like the voodoo for the Haitians and the Santeria or the brujeria for the Dominicans, man. So, and then when it says be not thou united, that's talking about what we spoke about as far as them being on the land, right? The same land, being brothers, but not being united because of what they did. The Most High divided them. Well, Jacob, he said, "Hey, look, man, y'all together, man. Y'all mischief, man. Y'all cause mischief." So, even though the prophecy is basically saying that, the reason why it says that they're brothers because they'll be on the same island. But they're not united. And they don't like each other now. You know what I'm saying? So that's their history. They got pretty much, they have slurs for each other and whatnot. The Dominicans will call the Haitians pigs and whatnot. So they're brothers, but they're united. You see? Let's see here. Yeah, because remember we went through this, right? "Oh my soul, come not and thou into the secret, into the assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in the self will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel." Well, especially the Levites, they got scattered amongst Judah, and they were living amongst them in different suburbs and whatnot, until they got their own land and whatnot. But they were scattered. We were all scattered, but they were scattered amongst Israel, amongst Judah, and they lived amongst Judah and whatnot. Let me see, because I'm looking really for. See if I can find. Let me see. The word Simeon is Shemaiah 1. It means affliction heard. And then, let's get Levi first. Genesis 29:34 says, "And she conceived again." That's talking about Leah, right? Let's see. Go there. Yeah, so it said Genesis 29:34. No, let's get 33. It says, "And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also, and she called his name Simeon." So you see, because the Lord heard her affliction, his name is affliction heard. Shemaiah 1. Right? And then verse 34 says, "And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi," which is lawyer in the Hebrew, which means joined unto me. All right. And we gave the description of their names. What their names mean in the Hebrew. We gave the descriptions on their geographical location. In their prophecies. All right. So Lord willing, I believe those were the key points. All right. So Salakia for being so long winded. I know I had a little extra verbiage, but Lord willing, you was edified with that. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and Shalom.